In a time when the tactics genre has almost faded away, now populated exclusively by indie games desperately trying to be Final Fantasy Tactics, XCOM, or Fire Emblem, and actual XCOM and Fire Emblem games, discover a title so faithful to the form that it plays like a developer from 1996 held the entire design staff hostage with a shotgun, all the way down to the terrible English name, Triangle Strategy. Okay, that's not great, but it's no Bravely Default. If you love the retro art style of Octopath Traveler, but hated how the normal guy you were talking to would become a 50-foot sprite when you fought him, look no further than Triangle Strategy, a game whose play to stand out is less driven by game mechanics and more by filling a currently empty niche in the not-quite nostalgia department, with an art style that passionately recreates the look and feel of playing a game on the PS1, including the fact that it's blurrier than a dream sequence in a soap opera. And that's without the layer of hand grease that surely caked over your Switch screen by now. You know, I've got to protect myself from seeing my horrible sleep-deprived reflection in the screen when it goes dark for a second. Insert yourself into a paint-by-numbers fantasy world, whose strongest distinguishing characteristic is that it doesn't have enough salt, and unravel the complicated political intrigue of Triangle Strategy, as three nations strictly divided by biome try to end decades of conflict by building a mine together, and then immediately have the whole thing fall apart because obviously it has to, in a Game of Thrones level tale of national politicking that will satisfy your urge for major characters dying suddenly, layered with a detailed narrative filled with twists and turns where your decisions truly matter. That's probably fascinating if you don't succumb to eye fatigue from fast scrolling through pages of dialogue, as glacially paced cutscenes combine with protagonists and characters so uninteresting you'll literally forget their names while they're still on screen, which isn't helped by the sometimes surreal and monotone voice acting.
I shall do exactly as you say.
My hand. I can't feel it.
Father. Father.
In a storyline that somehow manages to be captivating while simultaneously dragging harder than a mandatory Zoom meeting. It kind of feels like if George R.R. decided to write a visual novel while on Ambien, without knowing what a visual novel was. Experience the innovations Triangle Strategy brings to the tactics genre, most of which involve removing the stuff you enjoyed about it, as Triangle ignores tactics game tropes like class systems and complicated ability trees, replacing them with kind of nothing actually, leaving your characters to do their one thing for basically the entire game, which puts the pressure on Triangle Strategy's other main feature to deliver, a choice system that guides your narrative based on your actions, that will have your characters voting on big-ticket decisions you need to make, meaning you can get bullied into things by the AI, regardless of how you might feel in the issue, which ultimately doesn't matter when you save scum to the decision you want anyway. Look, if I was trying to get peer pressured, I would probably have real friends. Experience the mild tactical combat of Triangle Strategy, bringing you back to the grid-based battlefield and wonky 3D camera that feels like you're stumbling around a chessboard, where each of the main recruitable characters bring their own powerful styles of ability to bear against increasingly crafty foes who will use their map advantage to absolutely ruin your ass without a good plan, in battles that at their best feel as engaging as the height of the genre, but often feel like you make your most important tactical decisions when you pick your characters in the beginning, making for combat that serves pretty well for the first playthrough, but doesn't exactly leave you dying to run through it all again on a second one. Essentially, it's the tactics game version of a disposable diaper. Also, who decided that there shouldn't be a restart battle option? I know exactly when I messed up badly enough to give up. I don't want to have to watch my poor decision-making play out to its full logical conclusion. I get that plain enough by simply existing. Thanks. So get out those squares, and get ready to set that voice to Japanese in a tactics game that has all the meat and potatoes combined with an elaborate, rich story, but that arguably doesn't clear the bar set by any of the games it's trying to be, making it basically a nostalgia piece for a very specific type of guy. But hey, that's you, God bless. There's nerds out there just like you, and they're making video games. Starring Dudley Do-Right, Anti-Ginger Discrimination, Anime Glasses Guy, Magic. What? Look out, that redhead's got a gun. Triangle Sudafed. You know, everyone has a character that no matter how unsynergetic will always be in your party. For me, it's gotta be this barrel with the eye holes. We shall do glorious battle together forever, barrel with eye holes. Tell us what you'd like to hear in my epic voice in the comments below. I want to kill chaos. I need to. It's not a hope or a dream. It's like a hunger, a thirst. I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it. Any sufficiently studied magic is indistinguishable from science. Maniacal cackle. We're fighting an army of robots, and I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.